Hey folks, welcome to the Real Estate Investment Network. Today I'm joined by JG Francoeur. JG, how are you, buddy?
Fantastic, man. Beautiful fall. I love fall. It's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year, and we got some great weather happening out here as well. I wanted to share something, and people don't know. Like we had this conversation just before we jumped on, and I said, and you actually said to me, quote, "Let it rip, potato chip." And
No. Let her rip tater chip.
Oh, let her rip tater chip. I'm going, where do you get this shit from? Anyways, I digress.
I'll tell you, I got that one from my brother, my younger brother, 2 years younger than me. He said that to me a couple months ago, and I love it. So now I use it all the time.
So funny. Okay, well, listen, you got to have a little bit of fun. What are we here talking about? Something you and I and Bonnie and the rest of the team have been talking a lot about technology. We've introduced the REIN community to a brand new platform called DI Vault, which is Deal Intelligence. DI stands for Deal Intelligence Vault, where we are full on embracing technology. And tonight, we've actually got an event, and it's well registered, and we have room. Of course, it's virtual. So we're saying, come on out and join us for DI Vault. Is that what we're saying?
That's what we're saying. I mean, listen, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that people today with technology, without technology, are struggling to execute on real estate. And yes, there's no doubt the interest rate environment is interesting, to say the least. But what that's leading to is some incredible buying opportunities. But the one thing we hear all the time, Patrick, is there's no deals out there. I can't find cash flow. And I actually will show in this event where I reduce it from 30,000 plus properties down to literally less than 10, all cash flow positive, and I do all that work in less than 5 minutes. That's the power of artificial intelligence. That's the power of machine learning. That's the power of predictive analytics that you could use to your benefit. And that's what we're showing people at this event, at the DI Vault, this information session, where we get to show live what's happening. And for those longtime REIN members out there, Patrick, that know and love the system, the 15 steps to real estate success, the good news is we're sticking to our core values at the Real Estate Investment Network. We're just using DI Vault to do the heavy lifting on 60% of those steps. So we've reduced the formula from 15 steps to only 3 major components. It's a game changer.
Well, yeah, you make a really great point in terms of the stickiness, but there's something in behind that we need to shine a light on. Of course, part of the 15 steps, and you hear us at REIN say on an ongoing basis, really to nauseam at some points, where we say you need an investor-focused realtor, you need an investor-focused accountant and lawyer and mortgage broker. It's like investor-focused. Now, having said all that, depending on where you're investing, and the reality of lots of small towns, Canada, have got great opportunities in them, but trying to find a investor-focused realtor is really challenging. And we know that. It's why we kind of wrap our arms around our trusted partner in terms of the investor-focused realtors that we have, because they are, to get and find really great investor-focused realtors is a challenge. Having said all of that, with DI Vault, you're literally the epicenter of every center, not every center in Canada today, but in the very near future, you are really the epicenter of investor-focused realtor, because that's what DI Vault is all about. Finding deals, screening deals, bringing you deals only that make sense based on what you want it to be, what your strategy and tactics are. And then you can connect, write conditional offers, get the deals done. So that's all to say this, is that no more searching for investor-focused realtors is, I think, to me, a huge part of just time saving, efficiency. That's really a big deal.
Well, I'm making a couple notes here as you're speaking, Patrick, because I think it's so important for people to realize the DI Vault, what it helps you do is it helps you find, it helps you filter, it helps you analyze, but not just the property, but it helps you first. We start at a higher level. It helps you find, filter, and analyze the entire market. For the first time ever, Patrick, we can compare markets, and I will show this live, where Oshawa, Ontario is doing a particular thing. Meanwhile, Bowmanville, which is right beside it, and Ajax on the other side of it, they're doing completely different things. You can have one that's in a boom, one that's in a slump, one that's in a recovery, and you should be doing different things in those markets. And Pastor, we've never had the opportunity to compare those markets against each other to figure out what's the best market for me as a real estate investor. But now we can, again, with the use of technology. I will make this kind of pretty bold statement, Patrick, which is right now there's an opportunity. There is a first mover advantage with this kind of technology. But I got to say that in a very short period of time, people that don't use this kind of technology, and specifically this is best in class, nobody's doing it the way we're doing it. But for those who don't use this kind of technology, you're going to be left behind. That's the bottom line, Patrick. Mm-hmm. How can an individual person analyze 30,000 deals and whittle them down to less than 10 that are all cash flow positive and make offers on those 10 all within less than 5 to 10 minutes? How's that possible without technology? It's not. And if you're not using technology, I think a lot of investors are going to be left behind, unfortunately.
Yeah. And, I think you make some great points in all of that, not the least of which is that when we look at regions and we even look at neighborhoods, the data, and this is actual data, as close to real-time data as you can get in terms of what's happening with prices. You're not waiting around for a CMA and waiting for some realtor to say, well, it's probably worth this. No, it's all real-time data. So we take a lot of the emotionality out of it. We take a lot of opinion out of it and just look at the real data as it's showing up. There's a phrase that I like to use, and it just every time I use it's becoming more and more meaningful to me, which is clarity equals velocity. Mm-hmm. And when we look at what's happening in the world today of real estate, there's so much confusion, so much uncertainty. Everybody's talking about this and that. We look at real estate and say, regardless of what's happening, the herd's gone left. There's this big herd that's moved left, herd of investors that have gone left going, I'm out. And they're all following the pointy end of that herd, right? So it could be, a few hundred investors going that way. So everybody follows them without even understanding why. DI Vault allows us to step back, not go left, but to look at what the data is so that we can make data-driven decisions in an opportunity. This is a time of opportunity when it is uncertain, when it is confusing, and we want to get clarity and we can then move forward. Because we're not suggesting for a minute, JG, that people just throw money up against the wall, the real estate wall, so to speak, and see what sticks. Yeah. This is methodical, it's pragmatic, it's systematic, it's a process where there is tons of opportunities showing up, and it's almost like the ball's just getting rolling. So this is not the time to stay on the sidelines. It's actually the time to engage. Doesn't mean you have to write an offer tomorrow, but you need to stay engaged, pay attention to what's going on, and take advantage of the opportunities that are showing up. And technology is going to help you do that.
You definitely, in this market, in order to take advantage of what's showing up, you really do need surgical precision to be able to drill down and find those opportunities, Patrick. And the other day when you and I were on a speaking engagement just last Friday, somebody asked me a question, and I defined this market as what I call a leapfrog real estate market, meaning the moves you make today will leapfrog you in a pretty significant way in 5, 8, 10 years from now. And that should be the relative timeline if you're a real estate investor. And I'm actually going to modify right here live. I'm going to modify my definition or not my definition. I'm going to modify how I define this market. I don't think it's just a leapfrog real estate market. I think it's a poisonous leapfrog real estate market. And what I mean by that, Patrick, is if somebody doesn't do the right deal, it'll hurt them. But there's so many opportunities right now that can literally catapult your financial future in a huge, huge way. But people and it's by the way, it's normal. I mean, we do this, you and I, everyone does this, where we paint the entire market with the same brush and the same color. And man, real estate is just not like that. You can't paint, there's so many great assets and phenomenal real estate deals out there right now. But you got to know how to get them, and you got to know how to find them and filter them and analyze them and compete for them. And that's why we've introduced DI Vault at this particular time, Patrick. We could have introduced this technology at any time, but it's this kind of market where this technology really shines, which is why we're pushing it so hard.
And listen, there is an event. We're doing it and hosting it, in an hour? I've run out of the time frame.
Not even 27 minutes.
27 minutes. We're going to be there. So there is a link here. click on that link and get registered quickly. Show up. It's an absolutely free event. We're going to walk you through the understanding and the process of DI Vault so that you can move forward, make data-driven decisions. JG, I don't think there's much more to say other than register. The link is there. We have these events often, so if you can't make it tonight, then that's fine. But watch for DI Vault because we're going to be doing it. And I want to do one other shout out here. I'm doing a live event tomorrow in beautiful British Columbia and Langley, BC. So BC REIN community, come on out to Langley. There's a link somewhere on our website. It's not in this description, but I wanted to do that shout out. And maybe we'll even talk a little bit about DI Vault tomorrow night. Yeah, I think so.
Definitely should, for sure. And for those of you who are thinking, okay, how much is this technology going to cost? Folks, this is one of the best parts. Technology is incredibly deflationary and allows you to do magical things for very little money. You will be able to afford the DI Vault for less than a Starbucks a week. So I'll show you that at the live event. But I just want people to know, it doesn't cost tens of thousands of dollars to get this kind of a technology. By the way, millions of dollars have been invested in this platform, but you get access to it for less than a Starbucks a week. Absolutely no brainer, Patrick. Come out and see, folks, what it can do for you. And I promise you, you're going to be blown away.
Keep moving those feet. Keep getting those deals done. JG, thanks for your time.
Cheers.